All right, for practice problem 5.8 millimeters, part origin is at the center, bottom on the left side. Line, center line circles, extrude boss, extrude cut, and planes. The plane is kind of a compound plane, so we need to do some planning ahead. So when we generate, it looks like this front portion would be pretty good to extrude midplane, and then the hole in the arc. But this, when we draw that front sketch, if we locate, we need to figure out how that's located 25 from. The problem that I kind of see is that's tilted back that way. So what we need is a plane at an angle, and we use a line on that surface at the 60 degrees to tilt it back. So we'll probably end up with a layout sketch to generate that, but it's not always apparent which plane combinations are going to work out the best. So the more planes you encounter, the better off the process will be. All right, so let's go ahead with our line and the angle. And let's go ahead and see if we can put some dimensions on this. We have, oh, they put that on the top. All right, well, I was going to say we could probably get that geometry in with the offset entities. So my thickness is 13 millimeters, and it will let me cap the ends, but I want lines, not arcs. And we go ahead and accept that, and then that'll give me enough geometry that I can start adding the dimensions. So 77 to that point, and we go ahead and accept. The 13 millimeters is there with the offset. 50 to the angle plus the width. And let's see, that is still on the top view, so pretty much have to decide if I want to include that geometry, include the hole in the circle by extending that out, or adding it on after we generate the geometry. So let's just take a look at after we create that geometry. So I need the 50, and then the diameter. We had 60 on the width. Our angle then is 150, and that should bring us to being fully defined for this sketch. Okay, so features, extrude, midplane. All right, so we always want to look at our in condition 60 millimeters for the geometry. We'll go ahead and finish this out and draw the sketch. So making this easy, we will draw the two circles. All right, and so the first one gets defined because it goes coincident with the edge and becomes a 30 millimeter radius. The through hole then is 25. And at this point, we can go ahead and extrude. And for my contour and region, now we don't want midplane, we want, let's do up to vertex so we can go to that geometry. So that's going to leave half. If I go to the selected contours, I can just go ahead and select. And so rule is a positive into a positive is not going to generate any additional geometry unless we uncheck the merge result. As long as those geometries are merged, we don't really care what it does. So highlighting the sketch, make sure that you're expanding the little arrow out, highlight the sketch, and then extrude cut and up to next. And let's make sure I didn't select any of the the geometry. So make sure that I get the selected contours. And so what it was asking me is, because it had all of that other geometry, there was potential of it breaking out and having several independent bodies showing up. All right, so I need that layout sketch. We have everything as far as the base can take us, and all of that should be pretty straightforward to get to that point. So we're going to put the 25 millimeters from the edge and 60 degrees off of the angle, or for the angle. And then that piece is 55 millimeters. So I'm going to go ahead and build that in, because I can use it as part of the once I've created the plane. All right, so this then kicks back 75 degrees, or off of one side. So we'll have to look at how the angles, but that face through that line is going to generate a plane in some direction to start, and then we'll figure out which way it goes. All right, so it didn't pick the line, and that gives us the 90 degrees. So if I go over to the angle and we put in 75, let's see which way it goes. So I click in. That actually went the way that I wanted it, but I could flip the offset and make it go the other direction if we needed it to. All right, so that gives me my plane. Again, probably will come up with a name, plane location, just so that I know what that sketch was for. You know, we highlight it, we can see the parent and the child features, but it does come in handy to have a little memory reminder of what's going on there. All right, so I'm going to use my layout, my plane location, and that establishes the 55. So the downside to doing that is I have to remember that the plane location is actually driving that geometry. To the center is 32, and then we don't really need this to be a participant, so we can switch it over to construction geometry. Okay, and the arc then goes, let's go with a center point, and we'll look along the edge. So the advantage of leaving that line as a center line is it gives me a midpoint, and then I can extend my arc. All right, and a circle at the same midpoint, one dimension, and we go to 25 for that hole as well. And then it can extrude to, let's see, we're going to go with a blind extrusion, reverse the direction. Yeah, it's a little bit wide. Also, no, that one's 10 millimeters, so I'm going to say, is it also the same thickness? But that gives me the geometry. I can hide the plane, and then I can hide that that geometry to get our shape. So let's go ahead and save this P5-8, and we'll look up the volume. So I don't think it did the volume on the last one, but probably just put a note in there how close it was. So 132, 174. So we got 132, 173 and a half. So yeah, that one turned out pretty close. So if we come back and visit this one has good geometry for the auxiliary views, and would be a good example to create a drawing list. So we may add a drawing video to the end of this group.